Welcome to our Wednesday afternoon workout. Today we're going to be going through a HIIT circuit, and while it's not completely necessary, I have modifications for everything. It is encouraged that you have a resistance band or some dumbbells for today's workout. So we have two groups, 4 exercises in each group. We're going to be working for 45 seconds, followed by 15 seconds of rest. We're only doing 2 rounds of each group, but we'll be finishing with 3 minutes of core at the end, and that's a solid 3 minutes of work. So we're just going to start with our arm swings for our warm-up, sort of my go-to starter move. So palms are going to start up and out to the side, and then as I cross my body, I'm going to turn my palms down. And the chair or bench is only optional for some exercises, and encouraged if you're more of a beginner exerciser or if you don't have any equipment. We're just going to go into some body weight half squats. So I'm just hinging at the hips, bending at the knees, keeping the chest up, not going all the way down, just trying to get some blood flowing back into my legs. And then we'll go into our hip hinge. So I'm going to hinge from the hips, keep my hands on my legs all the way down until I feel that 6 out of 10 stretch in my hamstrings. And I'm going to stand all the way up, pull back on my left fingers, arms overhead, hips to the right, lean to the left, hips to the left, lean to the right. And we're going to go again. It's always nice teaching these afternoon classes instead of the early morning classes. Not always an early morning riser. And if you're joining me today, you can always say hello in the chat. It'd be nice to hear from you. And I'm switching hands every time I go up, so we're going to do one more. I'm pulling back on the left fingers here. And the last time I'm going to pull back on the right fingers. And one more here. If at any point you need a modification or you don't like the exercise or whatever it is, just let me know, and we'll get through it. I'll make some modifications for you. But without further ado, we'll get started into round 1. Exercise group 1. Oh, that timer got all messed up. Make sure it's good there. So our first exercise is our rotating press. Some exercises will be a repeat from last week. The rotating press is not, though. We're going to be on the ground. You can be on a bench as well if you'd like. But the trick is, as I press up, I'm going to rotate the dumbbells so that they touch each other, sort of like parallel, and then rotate back down. I don't allow my elbows to touch the ground. I rotate, and I go back down, all right? Walkouts we did last week. Hinge from the hips, walk down, walk out to that high plank position, stand back up. Modification, if you don't have any equipment for the rotating presses, your push-up or your incline push-up. Walkouts, you could modify just to be that hip, knee, ankle up movement we did last week. Goblet squat, we're going to grab one of our weights, wrist under elbows, and then we're just doing that full squat. You can use that chair if you need that modification, just doing that quarter squat or that sit, whatever it is. And then 180 squat jumps. What we're going to do, I'm square. I'm going to touch down, jump 180, jump 180, right? Just from the side here. Looks like this. I touch down, jump 180, jump 180 back. If you need a modification for that one, what we're going to do is you can do a simple jump squat. Or you can just go to squat, up on the toes, squat, up on the toes, all right? For 45 seconds each move, we'll start in our rotating press, and we'll get going in 3, 2, and 1. Hopefully this timer works here. There we go. 45 seconds we're on. So a little longer than last week, but we only have 4 exercises. All right, breathe through the whole movement. Pace yourself. You could also be using a resistance band. I'll show that in round 2. $15 to go. Keep it up. Don't allow your elbows to touch the ground. Your triceps may touch the ground, but they're not resting there. It's just that guided point. And tight. All right, enough time to pretty much stand up. Grab a quick drink of water if you need it. So we're going again in 3, 2, and 1. I walk down. I walk out to that high plank position. I walk back up, and I don't allow those hips to wobble. And you can change the intensity on this. You could be taking it a lot slower, or you could be going a lot faster. But the trick is, the key is, we're moving the whole time, and I don't allow my hips to rock all over the place while I'm doing my walkout. I plank. Stand back up. Almost there. Probably got one more here. Walk out. I plank. Stand back up. Enough time to grab some water. Grab our weight for our goblet squat. I have a lighter set of dumbbells here, just in case I need to switch out. So I sort of want to drop weight so I can keep that intensity. Because I always want to be moving the whole time. Toes and knees might be pointed slightly out to create some space. A hinge from the hips. Bend at the knee. Or if the light is washing me out there. Chest stays up. I squat as deep as I can without losing form, and we're done. And then I just put my weight back into that sort of runway, so it's ready to go. This is probably the hardest move of the whole workout. They're 180 squat jumps. If I touch down, 180 jump, 180 jump. At any point I get tired, I can just go into those squat. Maybe I do this for 10 seconds in order to get a little bit of energy back. And for the last 15 seconds, I go back into those squat jumps. Remember, we always want to be landing perfectly, nice and quiet. You know, you wouldn't get on a, and we're done there. You wouldn't get on a plane that can't land safely. So when we jump, we want to make sure we can land safely. If you can't, just go to the regression until you're ready. Oh no, it's going to show resistance band on this. We'll just keep moving through it. Essentially, resistance band is under your back and you're pressing up. Not a lot of time in these workouts, so you always want to be moving. Quick, efficient, effective. Keep pushing, 10 to go, 10 to go. Shoulders, wrists, and elbows are set. throughout this motion, I'm just squeezing the dumbbells together at the top. We're getting ready for our walkout. Whew. 3, 2, and 1. Walk out to that high plank position. Stand back up. Again, if you're regressing, just go into that hips, knees, ankles up, hips, knees, ankles up, or the walkout itself, right? Halfway there. Last time you'll be doing walkouts in one of my workouts today. You might be adding them into your own at the end of the day. Really great cardio exercise because we're moving through the vertical plane, getting up and down, which is something that we have to do in life, but we don't often do it, so it's nice to practice. Grab our weight for our goblet squats. Again, if you need to do a regression, just grab that chair. Quarter squats, half squats. Sit on the chair, stand up. Whatever you're doing, you're trying your best to move for the full 45 seconds. Nice, beautiful day, so I had to make sure the windows were open. I actually get to wear shorts today. Fuel off my beautiful white chicken legs. 15 more seconds. Keep that chest up. Hinge at the hips, bend at the knees. Perfect form all the way through. Wrists and elbows are stacked. So my elbows are right under my wrist. Oh, we're done. I often don't shut up just to keep my mind off the exercise. All right, 180 squat jumps. Right into it. Slow it down if you need to. Take that extra bit of time. Like sometimes I'll set myself up, set myself in my landing, and then squat, right? Set myself up, I jump, and then I land. And maybe you're not quite at that 180 degree. You can always make it just 90, right? 90 is pretty good too. And you're still using all those muscles that you would in the 180 degree. A lot easier to land. Bit of ugly landing. All right, that's exercise group 1. So I'll let you guys grab a drink while I set up round 2 here and demonstrate the exercises. Just going to use the lighter weight to demonstrate, but I'll use the heavier ones in my workout. Bent over row. Got my dumbbells. I hinge from the hips. Pull my elbows past my body. Keep the weight close to my legs as I lower it. You use the resistance band as well by just stepping on your resistance band. Same motion, hinge at the hips. Nice straight spine, pull the elbows past the body. If you don't have weights, I suggest lying on the ground and doing your T raises. Lateral shuffle. Really make sure your space is clear for this one, because we don't want to trip over anything. I don't think I need the mat really for anything, so I'm going to take that extra second. Go safety first. And what we're going to do is we're going to get low. We're going to take 1, 2, 3 steps, touch. 1, 2, 3 steps, touch. But we're going to move a little quicker than that, right? I stay square to the front of the room, shoulders, knees, and toes all facing the same direction, which is forward. Deadlift. We've already sort of done this today. We're just hinging from the hips, lowering the weight, Keeping the chest up, spine straight. If you don't have weights, you can still do that exercise, no problem. And then triple bear we did last week. We're in this quadruped position. I lift my legs off the ground, and I'm just jumping side to side or stepping side to side, right? All right. That's enough break for everyone but me, I guess. So we'll get going in 3, 2, and 1. A hinge from the hips. Oh, hinge from the hips. Pull the elbows past the body. I'll probably end up having to drop weight here, but I'm going to push myself as much as I can. These 45s are pretty heavy. I'm going to drop weight. I'm actually going to go to the band just so that everyone can see what that looks like throughout. Elbows past the body, and if I need to grab a little lower to get some more tension, I can do that. But my spine stays straight the whole time. Motion's coming from my elbows. We're resting. Enough time to clear your space. Maybe grab a quick drink. That position. 1, 3. I touch. That was 4. I touch. Just going to try to keep myself on camera here. Try to alternate which hand's touching the ground. If I'm heading left, I like to touch with my right. Sort of puts me in that lunge position at the end. I notice I got a bit of energy. I'm moving a little bit slow. Pick it up. Chest stays up. If you don't have the space, what we can do is we can just go into those lunging touches. You know, I recognize I have a bit of a peculiar situation with my back rim. Oh, we're done. Deadlifts are next. And I have a very wide rim. If you don't have the space, we just modified to make do, right? All right, deadlifts. Okay, you don't need weight on this. You don't need heavy weight. Hinging from the hips. Slight bend in the knees. As low as I can before I lose form. If I go any lower than that, my back starts to round. We really don't need that. Just from the front so you can see sort of where my feet are facing, where my knees are in line, how I finish, right? 15 more seconds. Starting to breathe pretty heavy here. 30 minutes, right? You gotta push. Get it in, get it done, and we're done there. All right. Last exercise. Round 1, exercise group 2, our triple bear. Gonna move everything so that you guys can see me well. I'm gonna start with walking because I recognize I'm pretty tired. I'll just regress. And now I can keep working at that 7, 8 out of 10 that I'm shooting for in terms of RPE, my rate of perceived effort. Again, I'm quadruped position. Step out to the side. I'll show you guys a different angle here so you can see how far I'm stepping. 15 more seconds. And maybe I got a few jumps in, right? Maybe it's not going to last long. Then I go back into my steps, right? Time. All right, enough time to grab some water. Breathing real heavy here. All right, round 2. We're going to start with the lighter weight here. Elbows past the body. And I could be using cans of soup. I could be using old textbooks, you know, from school. Pound for pound costs a lot more than dumbbells. I could hold on to those and do my rows. I could grab a chair. And I could do my rows with my chair. right? I could fill up some reusable grocery bags with some cans. I could row those. Try not to allow a lack of equipment to impede your exercise, right? If you have a body, you can exercise. All right, lateral shuffle. Down in that quarter squat position. Take a few steps. Whatever direction I'm heading, I touch the floor with my opposite hand. That just creates a lunge position. I'll show you guys what it looks like going from this way here. Try to stay on camera, just so you guys can see. Got some more information. I always like moving. Oh, that was a little ugly. In the lateral plane, getting up and down, because we're inefficient at it, and sometimes we have some ugly reps. Done there. Deadlifts next. I'll show you what it looks like with the band. It's okay to have ugly reps as long as you're not happening all the time. You just fix them afterwards. You learn from that mistake. You build that neuromuscular connection. So deadlift, I'm stepping on the band, and I'm just standing up, right? It's nowhere near the amount of tension that I get from holding the 45, but it is added resistance, and every little bit counts, right? We don't need to be perfect all the time. We have to allow ourselves some self-compassion and knowing that, you know, we're in the middle of a pandemic right now. You're not used to working at home. Maybe you're a beginner exercise, you're not used to exercising at all. It's okay for things not to be perfect, as long as you're trying, right? You try your best, and we can never complain about those efforts. All right, triple bear to finish. Off the HIIT circuits anyways, then we have our core circuit. All right, hardest exercise besides those 180 squat jumps are triple bears. I find these just burn my serratus, which is the muscle right there. It burns my core, and it burns my quads. So all high heaven. But you know what, if I just keep talking through it, keep in perfect form, that 45 seconds will be up in no time. We're already halfway there. Keep it up. If you want to add in those jumps, you can. Nice quick hops. Then you can go back to the steps. And I'm dying here, but I'm going to push. Push, push, push. 5 to go. Done in 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. We'll take a bit of a breather. Allow you to clear out your space. Grab your mat again. We don't need any equipment other than our mat for our core burnout. Make sure I'm on camera. You guys have my good angle here. Okay. So you can use a weight for the first exercise if you want. I'll demonstrate with and without. The core component, we're just going for 3 minutes, and we're transitioning on the 30-second mark. There's no break. Your break is sort of in the transition. So the nice thing about this exercise is the starting position. We're just going to lay hands out, overhead, feet out. And then we're going to lift our feet, try to touch our shins. And then when we lower, the hardest part of this is we never return to that starting position, right? You'll notice that my hands and my feet, they just hover. If you need to take that break, go ahead. If you want to add a little difficulty, grab a light weight, like 5 pounds. This is unfortunately 10, so I won't be doing it. But we just touch, hover, touch. All right? And then our plank shoulder taps, high plank position. feet as wide as they need to be so your hips don't wobble. And we're just alternating what shoulder we touch. All right? We'll get started in 3, 2, and 1. Starting with those V transfers. If you have a Swiss ball, you can transfer the Swiss ball. That's sort of where this exercise comes from. If you need to make it easier, bend the knees, touch the heels down, and then touch, right? Using the same muscles, I keep my shoulders off the ground. And then if you want to add some difficulty, gradually extend. We're going with the full extension. All right, transition into those shoulder taps. Again, there's no rest. Try to quickly transfer into those. And I'm not going to lie, this is going to be pretty challenging. But just take your time. If you need to take rest in between, you take rest in between. If you need to modify, you can drop to your knees. You can modify. But whatever you do, try to keep moving the whole time we're switching. Round 2. Maybe I need a second where I'm just modifying, right? I'm just doing these little touches. I'm actually keeping the head on the ground here. It's okay, because I'm moving the whole time, and I can feel how hard I'm working. And we're transitioning now. High plank, plank shoulder tap. I'm going to show you guys the front. Show you how bad I'm losing all my hair. With our shoulder taps. Again, if my feet are too narrow, I'm going to start wobbling at the hips. Think of it as a tripod, right? The wider those back feet are, the more stable that tripod is. But we want to make sure that the core is working the whole time, right? So we don't want to be too wide. Just wide enough. Final round, transitioning. Wide enough that it provides a challenge, but doesn't allow those hips to wobble. Almost there, almost done with these transfers. Thank heavens. They are challenging and we're switching. Last set. Finish strong. Try to go the whole time if you can, even if you need to modify. Right, and again, that modification, I'm just from the knees. Hands are still on your shoulders. And I'm just alternating touching. You can always do it from an incline as well. Almost there, less than 10, less than 10. Push, 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 push. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. We can go right to our back. Just gonna stop that. We're going to cross our left leg over our right. Bring our right knee towards our chest. Right knee on the outside of the right leg. Left knee pulled towards the chest. Take a few deep breaths. You certainly earned it today. And we'll switch sides. And, 30 minutes isn't too long, but you might find that it's difficult to get 30 minutes in one sitting in a day. But, just try doing 10 minutes. Try grabbing a group of exercise. We're going to put this on YouTube. And you can use that sort of play pause feature to exercise when you get a chance. We're going to go back to the first side. Sometimes when I'm working from home or working on something that requires my attention, I tend to lose focus. We'll switch sides. And I end up just sort of staring at the screen or staring at the problem for a little bit. And I find if I just do some movement, take a break, 5-10 minutes to stretch or whatever, it helps out a lot. And we'll go into our child's pose. Pushing the hips back. Reaching forward. If you had any problems with the workout today, or there was something that bothered you, or you didn't feel comfortable doing, always feel free to send me a message. All right, so we're gonna go into our half kneel hip flexor. So my right leg's on the ground. I'm actually gonna grab my left wrist and put myself in that chest stretch while I do this. My hips are pushed forward, shoulders are back and down, and I'm grabbing my left wrist with my right hand, sort of giving a little extra pull into that stretch. And we'll switch sides. Like always, I just like to do these combo stretches because stretching isn't the most fun. And sometimes we're just sort of cramming in at the beginning or the end. But if we're doing two things at once, we're sort of maximizing that time, maximizing the efficiency. It's like an exercise like a lunge and press, right? All right, that is my time for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you worked as hard as I did and not as hard as the sleeping cat over there. If you did enjoy this, I have one more class that I'm teaching on Wednesday next week, another HIIT circuit. Or if you're looking for something different, Tuesday mornings, I have the beginner workout. Thursday mornings, I have a bodyweight HIIT class. I hope to see you there. I hope to see you next week. I hope you enjoyed the workout, and I will catch you guys next time.